Hi everyone, this is Ezra with Coreware, and today I'm going to show you how to create a form that allows you to take a payment. So prior to actually today, you were able to create a form with custom fields, and you actually, if you're a nonprofit, you could create a form that took a donation, also known as a designation, and that feature has been in our system for actually quite a few years. Today we expanded that feature so that any nonprofits and for-profits can create a form that takes a payment that's not related to a donation, but actually is related to a product. So the first thing that I did to start this tip is I created a product. I'll just go right to products. Don't forget, I can hit Shift, so I don't have to dig through all the menus. Shift would have pulled it up, and I could type in product. All right, so what I did was I created a product called Personal Consultation, and the reason why I created this is because I want to create a form that takes different information for this particular product that they're purchasing. I created a short description here, and I made the product as a non-inventory item. All right, so that's step number one. Step number two, I'm going to go to website, and I'm going to go to my forms, and I'm going to go to a form builder. Now, the first step that normally you would do is you would go to the field builder and create any fields that you want on the form. In this example, I'm just going to ask for a first name and last name. These are fields that I already have defined. The nice thing about the field builder is once you define fields, you can use them for multiple forms. Okay, back to the forms. We'll choose our form builder. And I'll go ahead and create add, or click the add button to add a new form, and I'll call this form Personal Consultation. And you have to give it a code, which again will be just the personal consultation. That code is important, so make sure you define it, and this will be used when you're creating the page to show the form. Okay, so once I create that, I can go ahead and go through any of the other tabs, but all I'm going to do in this example is I'm just going to go to my payments and simply go down to the product. There's a couple of criteria that you need to follow when you are creating a payment form. So the first is you need to define a product, and don't forget there needs to, in the form, at a minimum, you should be collecting the first name, last name, email address, and of course you want to make sure that the payment block is in the form itself, and I'll show you how we do that. So let's go ahead and just choose a product. Again, I've got my search capability, so if I type in personal, now again this is the Google autocomplete, but if I type in personal, it'll show me anything with the words personal. In this case, I'll choose my personal consultation. I'll choose payment required. I can specify the amount for this personal consultation. The really powerful feature that we have, I can choose to dynamically change the price based on a certain value in the form. So for example, I'm going to be asking for the person's first name, and if the first name is Ezra, I know they're a little more high maintenance, so I'm going to charge a little more money. I can also set up discount codes. So discount code is basically set up very easily. I can set up multiple discount codes. So I'll say if it's Kim, we'll go ahead and give a 50% discount, right? If they know the code of Kim. So in this case, I'll give a 50% discount. So let's go ahead and save this form. Again, I'm not going to actually enter any other information, although I should enter a response, but I'll show you how to do that right within the actual form builder, because once you save that information, we can simply go back to the form builder, and there's a much easier way to choose the fields. So now that I created the form definition, I can go ahead and, for example, I can put in a header for the form. So in this case, I'll just say personal consultation. And I can go in and choose my different fields for the form. So of course, I'm going to ask for the first name. Now, if I want to change the label of that field, I can, and I can specify whether this field is required. So I'll do that 3 times. I'll choose last name. And again, I'll make that field required. And I'll choose the email address. And again, I'll make that a required field. All right, now within here, I can insert images. I can insert paragraphs. I can insert different headings. Very important, I have to insert my payment block. So I'm going to do that right here. And again, I can move these fields around. So if I want to ask for email address first, I can just move that right up here. Again, I can choose additional headings or even some custom HTML if I want to do that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and hit save, and that basically saves that form. Now again, within the form builder, I can always go back to the actual form definition if I want to modify the form, in any way. So if I want to edit the response of the form, I can just type something in, or I can pull up my HTML editor. I can click to add content, and I can just replace the text here. Thanks for your, and if I want to move this around, this is sometimes gets in the way. You can just move it all the way to the side here. Thanks for your order. Our sales associates will be in touch to schedule a date for your consultation. Oops. Okay. So again, if I wanted, I can add all kinds of blocks in here. This is a very powerful editor. If I wanted to just center all that text, I can do that. And I'll hit save. So that'll be my response. Okay, you'll notice the HTML gets created. Again, I can have a different introduction if I wanted to. There's a lot of options here. You'll see under the controls, these are the 3 fields that I added using the form builder. So the form builder just makes it a lot easier to create this form. So let's go ahead and hit save. And now I've created a form that accepts a payment. It's for my personal consultation. And I can go in and actually now create a page that shows this form. So in the spirit of being similar to the cooking shows, I created a page already. And what I did was I actually duplicated a page that already had a form on it. So nothing magical about that. And what I did was I can assign it a page code. And here's where the magic happens. In the script file name, I just call the script called generate form. So again, you don't have to be technical. If you already have a form on your website, you can actually go to your pages, and again, I actually should show you, under pages is where I went to access my pages, and I duplicated an existing page. And again, basically the script name just has to be generate form, and you'll see here I already have the code defined. So this basically says generate a form using the form code of personal consultation. Right? So that's the first step. Second step is go to your data, and basically all you need is this line here. So that just tells it display the form. So the system basically looks at that information. It sees the % signs, which is basically a command to the system to go display a form. It generates the form, and it knows to generate the form, the proper form, based on that code that we gave it. So let's go ahead and save. And I'll go visit this page, and you'll see here I've got my 3 required fields along with the amount. So I'll go ahead and type in my email address and my first name. Now you'll notice it's $150 and it changed to $200. Ezra would be a bit offended, but just wanted to show you how you can use that field. It's extremely powerful. Now again, Ezra is smart enough so he knows that there's a discount code, and the price went back down to 100. Of course, it really should be 75. All right, so I can choose a credit card. In this case, I'll put in our test credit card. This is if you have your merchant services set up in test mode. This typically will work. Depending on the gateway, it may or may not work on the live. Typically, I don't think it does, but this is a card number you can use when your merchant services are not in a live environment. So I'm going to put the number 4 with 15 ones. and any expiration date should work. Now you'll notice my form is all the way to the left of the screen. You can put in any CVV and any billing address. The reason is, of course, is my site template that's controlling that. So of course you can contact our support department to help you with any step that is confusing to you. I just wanted to show you the process from start to finish in case you were adventurous and you wanted to try this out on your own. All right, and we'll go ahead and process this form, and you'll notice it's telling me that my form is being processed. Do not close the window, and thanks for your order, and it shows basically the information. Oops. All right, so once it's done, it shows us our response, and basically the form got submitted, which is exciting. The payment got submitted. If I go back to my website, I can go to orders and to the dashboard. And you'll notice here, I've got an order for $150. You'll see the product is in fact the personal training or personal consultation product. It's right up here, along with the payment information. So the order goes in just like any other order in the system, which is really exciting. And then of course, I can go back to my form and actually pull up the form information. So again, under websites, I can just go to forms and I can go to my form data, which is under forms. That's where the information is stored. If I just sort descending, that should be the latest one. Actually, it looks like it's this particular one. And you'll notice here my personal consultation, and here's my first name and last name. Again, it can be any information that you want. The field builder is extremely flexible. I mean, you can do any type of field, drop downs, check boxes. You can do really elaborate field types. We've created very, very elaborate forms in our system. All right, one last exciting step. I was actually able to center the form in our cascading style sheet, which is part of the design for your website. There is a class called Form Wrapper, and all I did was I added that to this page. And now if I go to the form, it's actually nice and centered. So that worked out really well. And if you have any questions like that, definitely reach out to us at help.coreware.com. Thanks so much for watching this video.